Hey guys, so if you haven't seen the pattern drafting tutorial, please click on the link below or on the screen to go and get your pattern ready before you come back here, okay? So on this tutorial, we're going to be cutting and sewing our cowl neck jumpsuit, okay? So let's begin. So on the table, I have my pattern ready to be cut out, and yeah, this is my front pattern, this is my bodice and the trouser pattern, and here is my fabric that I'm going to be making use of. Okay, this is Duchess fabric. Okay, I recommend you to also use a silk or any fabric that you know is going to give you that drop drip. Okay, so this is 4 yard. I got 4 yard so that I will be on the safe side, because I don't really know how many yard is going to consume. Okay, so I just got 4 yard so that I will not have a story that touches the heart. Okay, so I'm going to arrange my pattern. As you can see, it's a very wide leg, so my table cannot contain it. Even if I put it on my table, you guys will not see it proper, so I have to transfer everything to the floor. You can see your girl crawling on the floor, you know, so that I can just show you guys what exactly I'm doing. So yeah, so remember I said I'm going to be adding complete the length of my trouser when I'm cutting. Yeah, that is what I did here. Okay, so if your pattern is not long enough, when you are going to cut it on the fabric, then you complete the length. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm still going to do the same thing to the back. Okay, so this is my front pins. I'm working on my front pins, and I fold this pattern on a bias form. Okay, yeah, I fold it on a bias form, so that is why you see that one side is higher and one side is a bit lower. Okay, so I want to try as much as possible to have it flow, but I didn't get that flow that I was expecting. Yeah, but still I think I like the outcome. Okay, so I've done cut the back. Okay, so I'm moving on to the half bodice. Okay, so this is the front bodice, and remember to add your joining allowance. Okay, so as you can see, I'm adding the joining allowance from the part where I already I added my joining allowance from the pattern. So if you don't add your joining allowance, please do. Okay, so I'm cutting out the front pattern, and also the same thing, I'm cutting out the back pattern. Okay, so I'm going to cut everything now so that we can move on to the most interested part. Let me put it this way. So yeah, so I hope you understand the pattern drafting tutorial. If you do, good, and if you don't, please rewatch it again. So I'm done. So now it's time to transfer my dart. Okay, before I will mark my dart, I need to mark 1 inch for my zip allowance. So this is the back pattern. I'm working with the back pattern. Okay, so after marking 1 inch from the waistline, then I impute my bust span measurement. So my bust span measurement is 3.5 inches. When I divide it by 2 is 7 inches, divided by 2 is 3.5. So that is what I'm after. Mark 1 inch from the center back, then from that point where I mark my 1 inch, then I place the tape there to mark my 3.5 inch for my dart. Okay, so the next thing what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to locate my chest line. Okay, so after from that chest line, I'm going to mark I'm going to go down 1 inch. That will be the length of my dart. Okay, place your tape, find your chest line, then go down with mark 1 inch below, so that will be where your dart is going to stop. So right here I'm marking 1 inch in 0.5 inch in between to take my dart. Okay, so that is what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to connect it like this. The same thing I'm doing here, I'm going to do the same thing to all my pieces. Not the trouser doesn't have a dart, it's only the top that has that. Okay, so what I just did here, the same thing I'm going to do to the front piece. So this is my back piece. Once I take that measurement, once I draw it out like this, I'm going to pin it like so. Okay, to transfer the dart to the back. Okay, so this was a little bit tricky, and if you can follow this step, you should be able to transfer your dart very easy and no stress. You pin it there on the both end, from the where the dart stop and the down below here, and then you're going to use your chalk to mark it like that. Okay, you're going to mark it like that. That means you automatically transfer your dart to the back. so you have the darts look equally, okay? So once I'm done tracing that, I'm going to pin this part, okay? So I'm going to pin it so that it can be easy for me to go to the sewing machine to join it, okay? So I'm going to repeat the same thing, both the front and the back pattern, okay? Pin it so that you will know where you're going to start by stitching, okay? So this is the back. Okay guys, so before I forgot, I need to cut out lining for the front. I actually forgot to cut out lining. So the back doesn't need lining. It's only the front that needs lining. The back, I will be using the same material to create bias to pipe in the neckline and the armhole, okay? So know that this is a sleeveless dress. So I don't know any other way I can do it. If there is any other way that I can do, that can make a cowl neck dress with lining all through. I think I'm going to try the tutorial one of these days, but this is the new method I know, and I haven't done a cowl neck dress before. Okay, I done a cowl neck dress for Vivian Okeke tutorial. I'm going to leave her channel here for you guys to see. So after I've cut out my lining for my front piece, so this is how it's looking like. So I'm going to place it like this, okay? I'm going to be placing it like this, and then I'm going to be stitching it, okay, to use it to pipe in the front. So I'm going to stitch from, yes, I'm going to use it to pipe in my, or start from the neckline to the neckline, okay? The shoulder is going to left open, okay? So this is my front pieces, and this is my back pieces. So what I did here to transfer my dart is the same thing I'm going to do to the front, okay? Okay, so the next I'm going to arrange my front pieces. I'm going to get the lining and place it. Oh dear, I'm looking for the lining. Okay, I found it. So while I was working on this, there was no light, so I could not iron it first. So yeah, I'm just going to do it, but hopefully when there is light, I'm going to iron it, okay? So right now I'm going to start pinning the lining to my main piece, just the way you see me doing, okay? You need to pin it so that you can go to the sewing machine to sew it. So you may wonder, how am I going to sew it? Okay, I have inverter, but my inverter will not be able to carry iron, so I don't want to finish the light. So yeah, so that is why I can't iron it for this moment, okay? So once I'm done, pin all this part, pin my lining and my lining to my piece, and then this is my trouser, okay? This is my back pieces. So the back piece, I'm going to also pin it too, so that when I'm going to the sewing machine to join the upper bodies, I will be joining both the pants also. Also, I'm going to repeat the same process on the front pieces, okay? So I will pin the back, also pin the front. So don't pin the front, also the back. I'm also going to go to the sewing machine to join it with the allowances that I kept, okay? So the back, I'm going to make a temporary stitch for the zipper side, okay? So this is my front piece. I'm going to start with the front piece by joining it with 0.5-inch allowance, okay? The front doesn't have a zip. It's only the back that has zip, okay? So this is the back. I'm going to make a temporary stitch, so you see where I'm going to back stitch, okay? So I'm going to back stitch there and then continue all the way from there to this point, okay? So this is my front piece, and the next I'm going to be working with the bodice, okay? That is the upper part. So this is my front piece. I'm going to my half bodice, that is the front pieces for the half bodies. I'm going to start it joining from that neckline, okay? You remember there was a neckline, okay? So I'm going to start from the neckline, and then I'm going to stop it at the neckline. The shoulder is going to left open, okay? So this is where the front neckline stop. So I'm going to stitch my darts from the back. For the front piece, I haven't done the lining, the dart, but I'm going to do that. So after I done stitching it, I have prepare my also like piping one of the back piece, okay? That is the armhole. So this is what I did. I cut the pieces that measure 1.5 inches width, and the length, it doesn't matter how long you want to, just get the longer as you can, so that you can be able to pipe in or the part that you need to pipe in, okay? So this is my armhole. I'm going to place the right side facing the right side, and then I'm going to pin it, okay? I'm going to pin the bias. So I use the same pieces because I didn't find the bias that has the same color. And even the zip, I could not find the zip that has the same color. I could not find the thread that has the same color. So I said, okay, since I could not find that same color for the bias, let me just use the same pieces to create the bias, since I could not find the color of bias for the same material. So I'm going to also pipe in the neckline. So this is the back, okay? This is the back neckline I'm working with. So yeah, the front, it has lining, so I use lining for the front, but the back I'm just using a bias to pipe in, okay? So once I'm done, then I'm going to head back to the sewing machine to start by joining it, okay? So this is it, okay? So the next is my front piece. I have gone ahead to weave the rough edges from the lining, okay? So I need to cut out pieces that will also pipe in the front piece, okay? Because the front piece armhole also I pipe in the front piece armhole, okay? So this is the pieces that I'm going to use to pipe in the armhole. You're going to use it to pipe in it round just the way I did for the back, okay? I'm going to pin it all the way round like that, and then I'm going to go to the sewing machine to join it together. So before I join the face my bias to my bodice, I'm going to work on my my front dart, okay? So what I did, I take the measurement from my shoulder to the end of the dress, and then I mark the part where my bust line is. Then I mark 1 inches below, okay? Mark 1 inch below, then that will be the length of the dart, your front dart, okay? Take your bust line, find out your bust line, mark 1 inch below, then use the remaining length as your dart length, okay? So that is what I did to the front, okay? So I mark 0.5 inch on both sides, and then I'm going to pin this so that I can go and start joining all the necessary part I need to be joined, okay? So I have piping one side of the armhole for the front. So this is how it's looking like, okay? As you can see, this is how it's looking like. So let me show you how I did the other side, okay? So this is how I pin it, okay? This is how I pin the bias, and then I'm going to go and stitch it with 0.5 inch allowance, okay? So I'm going to start by joining my dart, okay? This is my front dart. I'm going to start by joining it. So now it's time to use the bias for the armhole. That is the front and armhole, okay? So I'm going to start by joining it with 0.5 inch allowance. Alright guys, so the front armhole is ready. Once the second one is ready, so this is the back piece. So what I did for the back piece is what I'm the first back piece is what I'm going to do here also, okay? So I'm going to also stitch it with 0.5 inch allowance. So once I'm done stitch, I'm also going to make a top stitch. I will show you in a minute how I stop stitch it, okay? So I'm repeating the same thing, piping the neckline and also the armhole. So I have done also, I went to the sewing ironing table to iron it. So this is what top stitch means, okay? So I'm stop stitching this part here down like this, okay? So this is how it's looking like. So this is how it's going to be looking like if you follow the step like this, okay? So now I'm going to head back to my ironing table. So this is how it is. This is the final result after ironing it, okay? So we need to join the back piece and the front piece together by placing the right side facing the right side like this, okay? I'm going to join the shoulder first, okay? Before you start joining your dress, if you're working with dress or like a blouse, so the first thing you need to do first is your shoulder. Shoulder is the first thing you join before you start joining the rest of the bodice, okay? So once I pin it here, I'm going to go back to my sewing table sewing machine to join it with 0.5-inch allowance. Okay, then I will be back. All right. So I have done join the shoulder together. So this is how it's looking like. I also give it a very good press so that it will allow me to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to by taking my measurement. So one thing I want you to know is that when you're going to take your measurement, take half an inch from your for your original measurement. Okay, if you are to use 1 inch to join your dress, make it 1.5 inches. Okay, so that you're taking from your measurement to have it fit on your body. Okay, so once I done mark it like this, then I'm going to pin the side seam. So we are working on the side seam, that is the bodice. Okay, that is my half bodice. So I'm going to pin it like so. Repeat the same process on the other side, so that I can go back to my sewing machine to join it with the allowance that I took out. Okay, so joining it with the side seam. So I'm done with it. So this is how it's looking like, and I have also give it a very good press. I made a a temporary stitch for the center bag for the zip. Okay, so this is how it's looking like from the inside. As you can see, it's looking really beautiful already. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get the pants so that I'm going to go and join the inseam for the pants. Okay, before I will join the inseam, I need to place the right side facing the right side from the back piece and the front piece together, just the way you see me doing. Okay, so before I join the inseam, okay, I'm going to be taking my measurement. So one thing you need to know, take your waist measurement, find out the remaining allowance that remain, then stitch on it. If you want it fitted, then you add minus from your normal and allowance. Okay, so I have done join it. So this is how it's looking like. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to also lose the temporary stitch that I made for the pant. Okay, the part where the zip is, I made a temporary stitch, and that is the part where I'm losing up. Okay, so that I can be able to place my bodice on. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to grab my bodice, and then I'm going to place it from the waist. From the waist, yeah, just like this. Please pay attention. So the right side facing the right side. Okay, that is what you should do. Places the right side facing the right side, and then I'm going to pin it all round, and then I will go back to my sewing machine to join it. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to pin it like this now so that I can go and join it. So once I join it with 0.5-inch allowance, and then I'm going to be facing my zip. So if you don't know how to fit zip to your bodice, okay, to your garment, I'm going to leave a link on the screen here or on the description box so that you can go and get your zip fit. Okay, know how to fit zip to your bodice. Okay, I'm going to go to my sewing machine now to join it with 0.5-inch, and then I'm going to join my zip, and that will be the end of this tutorial. So this is the outcome of it. So I want to say a very big thank you for watching, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please kindly do so, and don't forget to turn on your post notification so that you'll get notified when another tutorial will be dropping. Okay, and we'll see you on my next tutorial. Bye.